like something when you look at it from this angle. But then you get over here to the front and you're like, where's the rest of it? So we're snowed in and stuck inside anyway, so it's the perfect day to show you around the shack. First things first, we're gonna change this door eventually. It's just nothing but an OSB door. This is the original door on the hunting cabin. But yeah, this won't always be here, but it's what we got for now. And let's come inside. What you see right here is all there was to the cabin. This little, what, 12 by 12 or maybe less room. And if you saw the last video, you saw we took a bunch of stuff out. There was an old little camp stove in here and a sink, but now this is just our tiny little living room. And that is the loft ladder where the boys climb up through a hole, and I'll show you the loft, but that's where they sleep. There are mattresses up there, but we'll show you that in a minute. And Bryson's watching one of our other favorite YouTube channels. That's the Smiths that he's watching. I asked him to pause it so I could talk. This this futon was already in the cabin when we took it over, and it's still here only because we need room for everybody to sit. But it will eventually be replaced with maybe a tiny set of recliners, whatever we can find that'll fit in this little space. This wonderful couch right here was given to us by some good friends in our church, and we are so appreciative of that. That's been a huge blessing, very comfortable. And there's Ellie being her charming self. Oh, and her temporary room, because we had a lot of snow last night, and Jeff is afraid she'll freeze to death, so she spent the night inside last night. Oh, this is a wonderful antique dresser that we got from Vintage Market Days, and I really like to support small business as much as possible, and this was cute. The boys split each side, so they each have 3 drawers apiece, because we do have to live sort of minimalist in a tiny place like this, but I thought it was beautiful. I thought this is still very much a hunting cabin, as you can see, but I needed something pretty in here. I need a little of my own touch in here, but they also had to have a place to put their clothes, so that serves as a countertop sort of in the living room, but also a place for them to put some of their clothes. So I got my chunky butt up through the loft hole. There's Jeffrey. Say hey, Jeffrey.
Hello, Jeffrey.
Bryson put his own little touches up here with some lights, but we still have to work on some trim. There's still some trim work that needs to be done. We're just famous for getting about 3/4 of the way with the job and moving on to something else because we get bored. But that's us. That's always been us. But they have very little room up here. I'm just sitting on the floor. They have room to climb up through the hole and get on their mattresses. This is Cam's side. Making beds is a hard thing to do for these two. But teenage boys, what are you going to do? But yep, this is their tiny little loft space. Just big enough to sleep. Stash some shoes, some extra clothes in a tote. This is living the dream. What are you doing there, Eleanor? Don't chew on my blanket.
She had her nose stuck in.
You will sure enough be thrown out in the snow. This is the doorway. If you remember in that last video, my stepdad used a chainsaw and cut out where the window used to be. This is the doorway that became. So here we are in the kitchen. Jeff just recently put these shelves up for me. We need to stain them, but you know, like I said, we get almost there and stop. But that is the former exterior wall of the old cabin, which is now our interior kitchen wall. We are still working on ceilings, y'all. We got the wood, we just hadn't had the time. That's such is life. Kitchen, well, we live here, so this just be okay with it. We live here. We did have to get a smaller refrigerator. That is tough. I will say that's an adjustment for us. It fills up mighty quick. But we had to work with what fits and doesn't pull so much power since we are on all solar. But wouldn't be me without a coffee station. Would not be me at all. One thing I did miss when we moved out of our other house in Georgia was my big single bowl sink, because we did a complete kitchen redo, did it ourselves before we sold that, and I really loved my sink, so I did another one here. Some more open shelving. Still working on figuring out some storage things, but y'all just, you know, if you got any ideas, share them with me. Leave them in the comments, because as much as I hate clutter, I'm not gifted in organization, so any help would be great. Spice racks we ordered off of Amazon. Those are handy. Keeping things off the counter. We have very little counter space, and it fills up quickly, as you can see. So the more I can lift things up, the better. And how cute is this? This right here. It's like the child's milking stool is how it was labeled, but I don't have a clue if that's really what it is. But something I got from one of the local antique shops, because like I said, I love to support small business, and you'll see a lot of little things I pick up from small vendors. That I use to decorate, because that's where my heart is, being a small business owner myself. But how cute is that? And again, it gets things up so I can put more things in and stash stuff underneath. This, of course, is a chicken. But why am I so proud of this chicken? It's because we raised it and processed it, and this is going to be dinner tonight, so happy about that. This little girl will soon be chicken and dumplings for supper tonight, because today's the perfect day for a big hot pot of chicken and dumplings. Very small amount of decor in this place. This is about all I got in here, because there's just no room for anything. But I do need some pretty things, so I do like to set things up. At least have one pretty thing to look at, because there's not a lot of room to decorate. This is the best thing ever. My favorite part right here. Warmth. We bought this tin to just have some kind of contrast in here, and it'll look really great when we get the wood boards up on the ceiling. So if that, you know, whenever we decide to do that. And these are the recessed lighting that we bought. Those are pretty handy, and they don't draw a lot of power, and they give off a lot of light. So we were glad we found those. These chairs, these wooden chairs, were already in the cabin, and I wanted to keep them because we can get them down and have a place to sit. If we ever have, we seldom have company, but when we do, we'll have a few extra chairs to sit in, and we just decided to, again, just hang them up. We'll have a lot of room to set things down, or we definitely don't have any storage rooms to put anything in. This beautiful piece right here was supposed to be an island, but it's too big. There's no way to put it in the middle of the kitchen. So it serves as our sort of a desk and workspace. I got my printer and some other things down there that I use for work and church and school stuff. So it serves as a desk and where we eat as a family in the evenings. And of course a catch-all for everything that we decide to set on it, because we don't put things away. This is a shelf that will not always be here, but we need a place to put a little extra clutter. We have some of our board games that we like to play. A lot of my candle making stuff has went to a storage shed on another part of the property, but this is still some of it that's left here. Candle and soap making materials, because I needed a place to put it, and this was the best idea we had for, you know, temporary purposes. We're trying to get creative with storage, so I love crates, and I had an excess of them from when I used to do pop-up shops and set up for like vintage markets and such. So we decided to hang them up. This crate was one that I used for my shop, and now it's a hat box, because this family has way too many hats, and I don't like them sitting around getting left on the couch, on the table, on the dresser. So now that's a hat box that goes above our coat hooks. So this is where we hang our coats and such, in this little hallway. Tiny little space where our solar panel operation is and our batteries. Hanging things up as best you can is the best thing to do. So that's where we have some of our cleaning supplies. The ladder that leads to my room that I'll be excited to show you in just a minute. Let's turn some light on. This is our food storage temporarily. We have plans for this little section, but for now that this shelving unit was in our other house in our laundry room, and we brought it with us, and it fits perfectly in this space. We do eventually want to strategically build a ladder that folds up and then have a stackable washer and dryer here, because right now the washer and dryer's on the front porch and that drives me insane. But this, you do what you have to do until you can, work things out. So everything's a work in progress, but we will eventually, hopefully, have a stackable washer and dryer here, and then that will narrow down our food storage some, but we're making plans for an outbuilding for that. The bathroom. This has been a lot of work and still under construction in a way, but there again, ceilings aren't done, but we're making it. But yeah, I did get the double vanity because I knew we're 5 people sharing a bathroom. 2 sinks is a must. The boys still do use the outhouse outside, but as far as getting ready for school and brushing teeth and things like that, we need 2 spaces. Another piece I got from Vintage Market Days. I love this. We might have some shelves or something there. I don't know. I'm trying to decide on how we're going to do that. But again, with the light. This is another crate I got from an antique shop locally. And I thought it would be really cute and rustic, since that's exactly how we live. To hang it up and store our washcloths and anything extra. Because some of this stuff was on the floor to start with, and that just will not work. So we finally got this piece, and now we can hang it up and put stuff in it. Nature's Head, working beautifully. Little coal scuttle that I got from the antique store that I use as a trash can. I love this thing, little antique piece right here. Our propane water heater. And let me show you the shower. And we had a snow covered jacket hanging in here to dry. But like I said, we live here and today's a snow day, so we used one of our other friends who live off grid up here. They used vinyl floor planks for their shower stall. So we took that idea and went with it. And this has been working out beautifully. This is vinyl, it's waterproof, it's sealed up well, and those are our shower walls. So yeah, that's working out great. Other storage hacks would be this 5-hook rack that we got. I actually had this left over from one of my shops, and I just used it in here, and that gives us a place to hang our towels up. And of course, Sissy's, when she's gone back to school, hers gets used for other things like laundry bags. One little open shelf above the potty, so we can stack our towels up. Now let's climb the ladder. So I am trying to give you guys the best vantage points. But anyway, I want to show you that this is the hole I just climbed up through. And this ladder is how we've gotten up to this room for the last, well, how long have we been living full time in this? Probably a year and a half, I guess. So yes, we need to, this ladder's been a blessing. We'll build another one at some point and give that back to its rightful owner. Our dear friends who helped us build this place, that's their ladder actually. So good to have people who are in your corner and let you use their stuff for like eternity. This is the dresser that Jeff and I share. We brought it from our other home. And we have to get creative with clothing storage. There are 5 of us, so even if we don't have a lot of clothes, they still take up a lot of space. All of us have something hanging up in here. Since we don't have closets, this is the best we can do as far as shirts and pants to hang up. So a little, we have a little bit of everything up here that all of us put up here. And then real life, when you run out of room, you just fold everything and leave it in a basket, because that's sometimes what you have to do. This thing is full, and the boys, their dresser's full too. But that's just how it is. Look at our beautiful windows, our big windows with the view of the mountains outside. We normally, this thing right here is hanging up there because we drape it across here and hook it to keep out the moonlight at night and the sunlight in the morning, when on the rare occasion we get to sleep in. But even that moon can be so bright that we can't sleep through these big windows. So we tend to cover it up. But this is another piece I got from a local antique store. I think it's the same builder who built my island table downstairs. But I love this. And some work clutter is inside there. Some of my inventory and things I use to make and bag up my t-shirts or make the things that I make. You just got to put it out of sight to where you have room to move. So anyway, that's all a beautiful piece. So as far as storage goes, I'm very, very blessed to have that. We are utilizing crates as end tables. So we both have one on each side. Jeff has his man stuff over here, and I've got my books and one of my other computers I use for design work, my candle remotes. Anyway, and these crates turned on their end make wonderful end tables, go along with the very rustic feel that this cabin has. Another crate that, can you tell I love crates? Let's just be real, y'all. Another crate, an antique crate that I got from, I've been to so many antique shops. I think when I have time, I frequent them a lot. But this is an antique shipping crate that I got, and I love this because it still has the shipping label on the side. Still has the name and location on the side. It's pretty cool. I decided when I bought it, the lady that was ringing me up said, "Don't take that off." I said, "Oh, I won't." But anyway, we put it up to store just a few things. Like I said, I'm very minimal with the decor because I don't have a lot of space to do it. But I can't just let the guys take over and make this place too masculine. I gotta have some pretty things. One of my favorite signs that I've made for my shop back when I could make signs, so at least I have that to one of my favorite scriptures, painted on wood, hand painted by me. Very, very special to me. Glad to have that here. We still have to work on some of the wall art. I haven't decided where I'm going to put it, but I think that's going to go up here, which is why it's propped up against the wall. I'm trying to decide where I'm going to put it, but you can tell we haven't put a lot of things on the wall. There's just not a lot of wall space, and we're trying to make good use of it. So, but still have functionality and decor. Best friends in the whole world right there, y'all. They're with me. I had to leave them back in Georgia, but they are with me in my heart. Another sign that I painted. Glad to have that in here. I'll probably hang that up somewhere, but right now it's just propped up there until I have a better idea. So this, in case anybody's wondering, let me not fall in this hole. Oh my goodness. It's bound to happen though, y'all, promise. This was a bed in a bag that we bought, because you're probably wondering, how'd you get the bed up in that hole? Well, because it came rolled up. The frame is one that comes in a box, and you just assemble it. It's just a metal frame underneath there. And we got that set up, opened up, put the roll of the bed and loosened it up and let it expand. And that's how we got our bed up here. When we ever want to change it out and take it down, I don't know. No idea. Fold it in half and chunk it out the window. I really don't know. Hopefully we won't have to worry about that for a very long time, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But there's not a lot to see in our less than 600 square foot pepper shack, but we are happy to show you what we've done so far. More ceilings to be done, more trim. We have not done any of the trim inside the windows. You may have seen that by now. Not done any of the trim. That will come. Jeff got a little burnout with a lot of the woodwork, so we didn't get a lot of it done. He is very handy, wonderfully handy, and will do whatever he has to do and will figure it out if he doesn't know how. He's just always been that way. but he doesn't have a heart for woodwork. So he just does what he can, and when he gets sick of it, he has to take a break. You'll notice my makeshift window coverings. These are, this is just a painter's drop cloth canvas that I cut. Actually, I think Jeff cut it for me to cover the windows. I'll eventually get my mom to make curtains out of drop cloth because I love that look, and I think it just goes with the rest of the house. So my mom is a wonderful seamstress. So I hope to get her to teach me, and I'll work with her on the project, but I'd love to have drop cloth curtains made. But for now, they're just tacked up there and we deal with it. Because sometimes you just got to have functionality over perfection. And that's, honestly, I'm okay with that. So I just took you guys on a walkthrough of our little cabin. So as I prepare to edit all this, I got to thinking about some questions I might have if I were watching a video like this. So I was just thinking about, I would ask, do you like living this way? And I'll be honest with you and tell you some days no. Some days I miss my house that I left behind in Georgia. It wasn't a fancy house by any means, but it was very rustic and it was older. Wasn't big, but the upstairs living space was twice as much room as this, and we had a full basement, which is where I worked. So do I miss that? Incredibly, yes. Do I miss a nicer kitchen? Yes, because we did a lot of work. We had granite countertops in there. It was just nice, and I don't know if you noticed, and I forgot to mention it, but right now our countertop in the kitchen is just OSB. We have not even finished that. Our friend that was going to help us finish that ended up getting sick, and then time has just passed, and we just have not. We've been doing life and hadn't really thought about it. So while it's very ugly, it's still functional. So that hasn't been a big deal. We'll get that done at some point. But another question I was thinking is, do we get frustrated with each other? 4 of us living full time and 5 when my daughter's home from school. Do we get frustrated? Well, we do, because we're family. But I've noticed the frustrations that we have are no different than what we had living in our other house. We just get on each other's nerves. The space really isn't a factor because we've always been a fairly close family. Let me think, what else? Another question is, do I have any regrets? Well, some, because we really were rushed in the planning process, so we didn't get, the layout's not what I would really choose, but we make good use of the time that we had and of the people that were offering to give up their time working their own homes and farms to help us get this place livable so we could get in it. So, I mean, really, there's things I would do different if we had more time. Some quick, not pre-thought out pros and cons. Cons, let's see. I miss closets. Closets were nice. Definitely miss having a laundry room. That did not realize how important that was to me until I didn't have one anymore. Can I live without those things? Absolutely. Been doing fine. What else? Cons. Climbing the ladder to the bedroom works right now. When I'm 80, probably not. So we will have to figure that out if we decide to stay here longer than we planned. The original plan for this house was to eventually be a guest house and a workspace, like an office or something, or pass it down to one of our kids in their younger years, your young adult life, to live on the property while we live in a different house. If the Lord wills and the budget works, then we will still do that. But for now, we have to see this as this is it. But we have to make long-term plans because, like I said, I can't climb a ladder like that when I'm 80 years old. That won't be good. Pros, we don't have a light bill. We don't have a land payment. We don't have a house payment. Life is simpler, believe it or not. It's not easy, but it's simpler, and that helps. That helps a lot. Don't have a water bill. You know, when we gave up a lot as far as space, we gained in financial freedom and a little more power over our food supply. So I'm very thankful for that. If you think of some other questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll get those answered. If I don't answer them, I respond to everyone who comments. If I don't answer in the comments, then I may just do a video and answer all the questions there. So we will see. But for now, I hope you enjoyed our little walk through the cabin. Thank you for hanging out with me, and we will see you in the next one.